Kitchen time saves nine. Help you to supersize and grow your business. Well, I asked the question. So, of course, the answer is yes, it can. If you get creative and think about the idiom, what it means, where it came from, if that helps you to understand and decide what it means to you, then think about how you can apply the lessons learned in this idiom to building and growing and supersizing your business. And the answer is always yes. If we can figure out how to use something in our business to help it grow and supersize, it's always a good thing, as long as it creates the outcome that we want and follows the intent that we want. My intent is always to make the world a better place. And so that's the perspective I come from when I talk about most all of these idioms. So where does this idiom come from? It's a relatively old idiom. It was first recorded in 1732 in Thomas Fuller's Nomologia, or I don't know how to even say it, but that's it. Adages and proverbs, wise sentences, and witty sayings. And then it's also attributed to, of course, Benjamin Franklin in Poor Richard's Almanac, which I believe came a little bit later. But the internet likes to confuse different sources and not necessarily identify the earliest source of these idioms or of anything else, by the way. We have to take what we read online and what we see on the internet with a grain of salt and always think for ourselves, is that true? Could that be true? Don't just like watching the news and thinking everything you see is true, because we know that that's not accurate. So what does this idiom mean? It means that it's better to deal with a situation or a problem or a challenge or a setback sooner rather than later. It comes from a sewing reference where when you have a little tear in something, it's better to fix that little tear when it only takes one stitch or two than if you have to wait because you have a big hole that takes 9 stitches to sew up because you waited and the tear got bigger. Nowadays you pay extra for torn clothing and raggy looking things, but that's a tale for another day. So it's better to spend a little bit of time and effort right now up front as soon as you identify that there's a problem or a situation that needs to be handled, versus waiting and hoping that it goes away on its own. And chances are, if you wait, it's going to become a bigger problem, a bigger issue, impact more things, and take more time and energy to fix than if you'd fixed it in the first place. So how can we go about doing this with respect to growing and building and supersizing our business? And how can we use this idiom to help us with that? Well, number one, we want to always do the right thing, right? And do the right thing, hopefully do it right the first time, so that we're not having to fix things and fix problems. I have a quality background, and so quality engineering as well as other types of engineering, but I worked in corporate America for over a quarter century as a quality director and vice president and things, leading that function for different organizations. And one of the things I learned is that I hate rework. I hate having to do stuff over and over again, when if we just did it right in the first place, or if we listened to the people that knew and were actually doing the job, we would know where challenges were and we would find ways to prevent them, versus having them happen and then having to fix them after the fact, because it always costs way more to fix a defect or a problem that had already occurred than if we had prevented it in the first place. We want to always be learning and continuously learning and improving, and learning the lessons from the mistakes that we do make, so that we do fix our and put systems and things in place to prevent them from happening in the future. Problem solving decision making. We want to have a framework or a problem solving decision making practice in our business, so that number one, we have a common language and people are solving problems using a similar process over and over and over again. You know, some problems are bigger and they require computer aided analysis and things, but mostly everyday problems, we want to have a few different problem solving frameworks that we use and we teach, and we have them in common. So when a little situation comes up, everybody's thinking, okay, well, what are the pros? What are the cons? What are the consequences if we don't do this, and whatever your process is. And then the other thing is about time management and efficiency. I am a believer that everything we do, there's always a better, faster, easier, more efficient, more effective way of doing it. And that's everything in my life. I'm always looking for ways to do even the everyday mundane things more quickly, easily, efficiently, and effectively, right? I want to get the best results I possibly can out of everything that I do in every area of my life, not just with respect to building and growing my business. So that I've just kind of built in, so that I'm always looking for ways to improve things, right? Ways to automate, ways to delegate, ways to improve, ways to make sure that we're going to get the result that we want consistently. And then, of course, a continually improving, ever better result. So curious about this idiom. And if I will admit, I don't think about it very much. I'm not much of a sewer. Of course, in middle school and grade school, we learned to sew as part of home ec. I went through school back in the day when they actually called it home ec, home economics, and taught us how to sew and do things like that. Us girls, remember back then? There were a few guys in there, but mostly it was the girls. So how can you use this idiom, a stitch in time saves 9, to grow and build and supersize your business? Or how are you using it? Do you have a common language problem solving decision making tool that you use in your organization? Do you have quality processes and systems in place? Do you have documented processes and systems in place? If you want to grow and scale and supersize your business, I will absolutely positively say you need to start systematizing and automating certain things. And with AI, things are becoming easier, yet also a little bit more convoluted, just like any new technology or any new thing that comes down the pipe. All right, that's it. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it to supersize and grow your business? Have a great day.